Sparky Studio. Yeah. Hello, this is Eric of Sparky Studios, and welcome to my review of the Molus G60. Let's get this open and see what's in the package in this combo pack. And we got some more boxes. Now let's get this open. Now that we have everything outside the boxes, let's check out one thing at a time. Here we have our mount to change to a Bowens adapter to fit other devices over top. Here we have our little diffuser. So if you want to diffuse the light, and maybe you want to add our grid to this situation, and then finding where your Velcro pieces are to line that up. And once we start with one, everything else should pretty much be self-explanatory. Our diffuser with our grid is now assembled and we can apply it to our light, but what's with this? I'm just going to do this. It also comes with our famous silica. Let's get rid of that. And now let's get to the case where everything else is included. Nice little zipper. And if we look here, we have a nice little carrying handle for the case itself with all our accessories. Now let's see the magic. Here we have our little light. You might have seen it in the picture with it bulbed out rather than squished in like it arrives. Here we have a little carrying bag, our power adapter, or brick as you may know it as, and then we have a little tiny tripod mount should you want to put this light on your desk. Anything else? Oh, we have a nice long power cable as well for our adapter. Way smaller than I thought it would be. And we can dim and brighten our light right here. Oh, we can hear that. And we also have our, I believe, light color CCT. Okay, so we can mount right here and we can set this in place for mounting as well. Made of metal, plastic body. The power source itself is listed for DC in at 24 volts. USB charging, or power in, that is, to here. That has power delivery, PD. You can power this light. And I do have one with 20 watts of PD, and I'm going to get a battery with 30 watts of PD. However, 60 will give you full power. So note that one. And on this side, we have our small little fan. Down here, where I'm pointing at, is actually a ring light. This is a 20-inch ring light, and to this side is my Godex ES45 sports light, and I do a review of this particular light. We have more silica. The choice to use this was not a clear one. Danger, do not eat. And here's my ring light, which is absolutely massive. Right now, the only light I have on is the Traver ring light, the 20-inch 60-watt equivalent ring light at pretty much full power. I have no other light in this room at all, other than the lights in the background. Now, one thing I want to show before I do anything else is how to reduce this gap and get this connected properly. And when we push this in, it tightens this umbrella up. So let's see. Right here we have those little two tabs. We're going to push that in, and you have to push it with some force, and now we can see this umbrella thing is actually poofed out a bit. I recommend having your hand on the plastic point so you can actually slide it into place properly. And once we get in, listen for the snap. And that means it's in. Now, if I want to release this, we do have a release lever right here. And then we simply turn it and it pops off like so. Let's get this light replaced with this and see the difference. And I'm going to be moving where my light location is, since this is very focused. And you can see the shadow of me from the ring light. And this is the light at 100%. I think this is too bright. And we're now at 49% brightness. Still pretty bright. And now we are at a more reasonable light level at 15%. However, one thing to note is this is very focused, as in the ring light itself is spread out. Well, this is very focused, so I can have a darker background should I not shine it in the background. See what I mean? Now let's turn on all the lights back to normal. Now let's try this with a little diffuse everywhere cap itself. And then of course we'll remove that to this. Shadows are, at least for me, it seems though the grid and such, to be a little more harsh. Now let's get to full brightness without a covering, just using that reflective plate. And this is me in the spotlight. This is me being beamed with some bright light. And that's only 15%. At a distance of about 6 feet away. That's just too much. Here's the grid here, and the grid out of the way. Grid up here, grid out of the way, and grid up here, and out of the way. So it seems to at least help my camera lighting look a little more natural on my tones using this. My light right now is at 5500K. I'm going to lock my color temperature and change the colors of the light so you can see the differences. Right now, the grid applied and I have a camera set to daylight. And the light is at 5500K. Let's adjust. We are now at 4000K with my camera locked to daylight. So we can see that difference. I now look a lot more yellowish. We are now at the lighting of 2700K. It definitely looks like a sunset kind of orange. And now we should look a slight cool tone or bluish tone, because now I'm at 6500K for lighting. And now we're at 5500K again for lighting. And I have the light set to 6% to see if we can see any color shift, because some people mention such a thing happening. I can't tell, but maybe I'll find out on playback. I'd recommend downloading the app, and here's the name of the app, should you want to download it from the store for Apple, iPhone, or Android. Now that I have the app installed, I can now set it to my light, which it automatically shows on here. Now I can select that light, and let's see what my instructions are. Oh, we can change our... Is it set up yet? I deleted the demo, and now I have this customized one, which is not connected to the light yet. So I have to do that. I'm going to have to go to the plus sign right here. And then I can select the light, as we can see right here. And let's see what happens. And now I can select add. Adding device. And done. And off the bat it said device disconnected. And I'm going to go to see. Hey, I like it. I like it a lot. So if you want to control this without having to worry about if you switch it on or off the power plug, use the app and have your freedom. And now if I want to change the color temperature, yeah. I honestly like this app because it's allowing me to control this. Now I control the brightness just with the slider. Yeah. And there's also presets along the bottom, so I can actually just touch this and change whatever at a click. So that's cool. How do you update the firmware? Right here, those 3 dots. This is what we click. And then I can see the menu, which pops up, including firmware updates. So I'm going to do that right now. Since I didn't do it before, it's now checking for updates, and I'll find out if I need an update or not. So there I go. After upgrading the firmware, I had a heck of a time reconnecting to my mobile phone for Bluetooth. However, thanks to seeing how to reset the Bluetooth, 1, 2, 3, I was now, again, once reset, able to reconnect to my light. So now you know, 3 clicks to the power button. I learned a couple things, such as when I hold this button, I have a different mode for power on, live or normal. Live or normal, what does this mean? Normal, if I flick the power on and off, it does not turn back on again. So I have to press the power button, or I can install the app. And I go to live. Watch what happens when I flick the power switch. And I can flick it back on. And we can see it's booting up again, and it's lighting up again. And if I press this button, we have different brightness levels at a touch. And also, if I press this, I change my color temperatures. So cool. With the light completely off, it's still using about 0.44 of a watt, so extremely low power. But I guess the power brick itself with the light off is drawing just a tiny bit of power. Now let's turn the light on to 15%. We are at 11.82. Yeah, 11.82 about. And let's turn it up to 100%. With the fan running, we are just shy of 74 watts of total power draw. So this definitely does use the wattage that it's rated for. With 100% brightness, it is using VA power of 117.8. VA power is non-useful power. That's wasted power above and beyond its actual power draw in watts. Some people pay extra for VA. Let's listen to the fan noise. And the light is literally about 2.5 feet away from the microphone. And now I am about 3 feet away from the microphone and have the microphone facing directly 1 foot away from the fan itself. Let's listen to the noise. Now let's place the mic back towards me. The mic is actually facing towards me. It's about 3 feet away from the light or so. And 100% brightness, you can notice this is too much for my particular scene. But this is what you could hear if your light is fairly close to your microphone. This is a Sennheiser MKH50. Here is our power button. Now one thing to note is simply pressing it just like this does not turn it on or off. We have to hold it. And there it goes. Now again, pressing it like this is not turning it back on. We have to again hold it for a bit. And there we go. It turns itself back on. At 15% brightness, as it is right now, it doesn't seem the fan is going to turn on. Maybe if your place is extremely hot. My room right now is about 23 degrees Celsius. So it is decently warm, but the fan is not turning on. Does the fan turn on when you have a certain level of light? No, it is by temperature. So if it's actually cold in your room, it might not turn on as soon. At 45 degrees Celsius, the fan turns on once again. Right now I'm powering my camera with this light connected to a dummy battery. I have a power delivery port on this particular power brick. And by the way, if you want to get any of these accessories, minus this cable, I'll have it linked in the description below. Now the USB-C is right here. And this particular cable is rated for 5 amps. 5 amps times 5 volts is 25 watts of possible power delivery. And I press the power button, and there we go. I can turn this up to 24%. And for those wondering, I plan to use this as a portable option for filming movies. What do I mean by movies? Well, let me show you.
This is a nightmare.
Exactly.
If you found this video informative and you'd like to help this channel grow, don't forget to subscribe to Spark E Studio and help this channel grow. And if you're subscribing right now or already are subscribed, then yes, you are awesome. Now, one thing I would have liked to seen is a wing nut for tightening the device rather than this circular device here, because this screw makes it very hard to tighten very tight to this. Now another thing is we can set to 0% brightness and the light is not going to be on, but that's 1%. 0, 1%. This is more a personal light just for you, because for me it is about lighting up myself rather than my entire background. Because if you have RGB lights and you make them look darker rather than washing out the brightness of the RGB, it looks, I find personally, a lot cooler and a lot better for subject separation in your scene. This is Eric of Spark E Studio. Thanks for watching and have yourselves a most wonderful day. So bright, even at 1%. Not bad. Not bad at all.